Alright, everyone, or my pretties as I call it, this is the Lion Queen here. Today, I am going to be doing another top 10 video. I know I haven't did one in like a long time. Well, I think it might have been months ago or a few months ago or something. I kind of lost count. But despite that, today I'm going to be doing a top 10 video on my favorite Disney Pixar movies. Now, I did one on Disney movies, just Disney movies in general, but today I decided to do one on Disney Pixar movies because, this has been on my mind for at least a few months now, so I thought I would go ahead and, give this a go on that. So, anyways, I just want to give a little disclaimer that these is just only my opinion on these Disney Pixar movies. If you don't like them, that's fine. If you like them, that's fine too. But as I say, if your favorite Disney Pixar movie is not on the list, I do want to say, I do apologize, but just note that this is just my opinion. If you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine too, but as long as you're respectful, then that's all that matters. But I guess, pardon me about that, with that being the case, and with that being said, let's get on with this list, shall we? Well, number 10 on the Disney Pixar movie list having to be Cars. Now, this is only the first Cars movie I'm going to be, putting on the list because I'm going to be honest, I never really liked the other Cars movies that much. I mean, this one's not really my cup of tea, but, I still respect people's opinions if they like this movie. But, I mean, I personally thought the first Cars movie was pretty good. This one came out in 2006, and I was a kid when this came out. However, though, the sequels, I'm gonna say, I thought the second movie was okay, and the third movie, I didn't find it to be great at all, to be honest. But I definitely gotta say, the first Cars movie is basically about Lightning McQueen getting stranded. Well, not really stranded, but he ends up wanting to go to win the Piston Cup. But he ends up going into another abandoned town or something like that called Radiator Springs. So that's basically what the plot is about. I'm not going to go too much into detail because I've already covered it in my Shadows and Pretties episode. So you guys can go watch that if you want more description or full-on detail, if you will say, or leave it as that. But yeah, that's basically what it is for Cars. Yeah. I don't really like the third movie. Second one was okay, though. But, that's just my opinion. But anyways, I guess we should get going with the next list. Now, I did review this in Shadows and Pretties as well, and this one is Coco. This is honestly a really good movie, especially with the concept that it's taken place on a holiday known as Day of the Dead. It takes place in Mexico. I honestly really found this Pixar movie to be a really well-made movie involving our main character, Miguel, who wants to, be a musician, but his parents and his family think, that it's a curse. Like, the whole, playing music thing is a curse just because of what happened to Coco's father, aka Hector. I just wanted to say, just a spoiler. But I did cover that in, Shadows and Pretties as well. So if you want to go watch that one, you may do so as well. So I guess with that being said, I recommend this Disney Pixar movie. The ending song did make me cry. I'm not going to lie. It was quite emotional. But it was still a pretty awesome movie, especially with the concept in that. I really recommend it for those who are fans of Disney and Pixar. And I really recommend they give this movie a go if they haven't. So anyways, that's number 9. Let's go down with the next on the list. Well, Finding Nemo. This movie came out in 2003. I believe I did a Shadows and Pretties episode on this one. I'm not too sure, but if I didn't, please let me know in the comments below. Check out the playlist of Shadows and Pretties. If I didn't do a Shadows and Pretties episode on Finding Nemo, let me know in the comments below and I'll consider making it in the future. like an episode of it in the future if I ever get the opportunity. But basically what Finding Nemo is about, this is about Marlin, who has the only son named Nemo after a big fish ate his wife and all of his kids except for Nemo. Nemo unfortunately gets taken by humans, so it's up to Marlin, along with his partner or friend, Dory, to find him. It's a really awesome movie, and I used to watch this movie a lot when I was a kid, and it really brings out the best of this movie. So I recommend you check out this movie if you haven't. It's a really good Disney Pixar movie. I really have to say, when I watched Finding Nemo as a kid, I honestly loved the movie, especially with the animation. I love the fact that it takes place under the sea. Oh, I got a little reference from The Little Mermaid. But it's still a really awesome movie. And I recommend you guys check out this movie if you haven't. So, anyways, let me know if I did a Shadows and Pretties episode on this movie or not. If I didn't, or if I don't have a Shadows and Pretties episode about Finding Nemo, I'll do an episode about it where I talk about the full plot and that. But as of now, I can't even remember if I did or not. If I did, let me know. If not, then let me know as well. So I guess with that being said, let's go on with number 7. Well, number 7 on the list we have is Inside Out. I know I did a Shadows and Pretties episode on this one. And this movie basically involves Riley's 5 emotions that basically is about, joy, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear, all playing around with Riley's emotions as they have in each little part to play in their lives of Riley Henderson. I really do appreciate how well this movie manages to have a great concept on emotions and that. This is actually a really recommended movie for people with autism and ADHD and etc. Anyone with disabilities can watch this, and they can honestly understand how Riley feels and stuff. I honestly really enjoy this movie, and I recommend you check this movie out if you haven't. It's a really good movie. I know I did talk about this in Shadows and Pretties, so if you want to go check out, my full review on it, you may do so, as it's a really, really awesome movie. And I can definitely say it's a pretty damn well made, and it's an awesome movie, so I recommend it. Toy Story and Toy Story 2. Now, I gotta put these two, at the place of number 6, because I honestly liked the first Toy Story when I was a kid, and I honestly do know for a fact that this is actually Disney Pixar's very first, not very first film or anything, because they had some shorts, but very first film involving live-action toys. Like, this movie, Toy Story is basically about, Woody, along with, Buzz not get along as toys at first when they are living in Andy's house. I did a review on this one, but I believe I might have done a review on the other Toy Story movies. I kind of give them a brief description about that in my other episodes, but if I should review full of Toy Story 2 and the other Toy Story films, let me know. The reason why I didn't really cover them at the time right there is because I mainly was just covering the first one. But I will cover the second one in the future as well as the third, maybe the fourth one, but who really knows, to be honest. So I guess with that being said, it's a pretty good movie, and I recommend you check out the first one. Now with Toy Story 2, Toy Story 2 is a really amazing movie. This one is a good sequel to the first Toy Story. So this one we get introduced new characters such as, Jessie, who's played by Joan Cusack. We get introduced to Bullseye and a bunch of other people. I really do like the first Toy Story movie, but I also, for some reason, I like the second one a lot better. I don't really know what it is, but I think I like the second movie a lot better than the first one. But the first movie was still pretty good, though. I still think that, it has a really good concept. So this one basically is about Woody gets stolen by a toy collector known as Al, and he meets Jesse, Bullseye, the Prospector, and etc. But I definitely gotta say, the second one is a really good movie too, so I recommend watching the first and second Toy Story if you haven't. Toy Story 3 is definitely on this list. This movie basically involves Andy getting older and going to college. However, though, his toys, like Woody and the gang, basically get donated to Sunnyside Daycare, which is run by a psychotic, narcissistic teddy bear named Lotso Huggin' Bear. So this movie, even though it came out 11 years after the second movie came out, I still find this movie to be a really awesome concept, especially with the fact, the toys are together and they have to get out of daycare. I like the concept of the fact that, Andy's an adult and he's going to college. That's honestly really amazing. I'm not going to lie right now. That's honestly amazing, if I'm being brutally honest. Now, I honestly recommend you check out the first two Toy Story movies, and I recommend you check out the third one, as you won't be disappointed with the third movie. It's really that good, and I recommend for those who want to check out the movie, be sure you do so. Well, I honestly gotta put this movie, Toy Story 4, and I saw this a few years ago in the theaters, and I could definitely say right now, it's freaking amazing. It is so awesome. I honestly love this movie. It involves, Bonnie taking her toys, which happens to be, the new owner of Andy's toys, because if you remember in Toy Story 3, Andy gives his toys away to Bonnie, who is the young girl who really liked Woody, which I will consider reviewing Toy Story 3 in Shadows and Praise in the future. I kind of gave a brief description, but I didn't really go into much detail, because, yeah. But I definitely gotta say, this is the movie where Bo Peep comes back in the fourth movie, after she disappears in the third movie. We only saw her last appearance in the second movie and thought, oh, she's not there anymore. But when you see Toy Story 4, you will know for a fact that, she's back. So it's honestly really nice to see Bo Peep coming back. And the voice acting for them, flat out amazing. And I really like it. I thought it was neat. It's a pretty awesome movie. And I recommend those check out the movie if you haven't. You guys will not be disappointed. It's a really, really amazing movie. So, yeah. With that being said, let's continue. Of course, I have to put Monsters, Inc. on the list, because it's actually one of my favorite Disney Pixar films since I was a kid. This one, the biggest reason is because John Goodman voices Sully in this movie. I know he's also Baloo in The Jungle Book too, and I do know for a fact he's been in other movies as well. I honestly really thought John Goodman did a pretty damn awesome job as Sully. We also have Billy Crystal, who is Mike Wazowski. This involves the monsters, living in a world where monsters are kind of like people. But they also learn that humans are toxic. Now, I'm not going to put, Monsters University up here. I mean, it's still a good movie and all that, but I think it would make more sense if Monsters University was released first, and then Monsters, Inc. Because in Monsters University, it's basically a prequel to Monsters, Inc., which I thought that was a nice concept for a movie. Now, I have this movie on VHS. It's a really good movie. I still recommend people checking it out if they haven't. And I definitely gotta say, I fell in love with this movie. It's really that good. It's flat out amazing. It's a pretty good movie involving monsters. I always thought John Goodman did a pretty good acting for Sully, and Billy Crystal did awesome as Mike Wazowski. They actually play pretty good characters in the movie, and I honestly gotta say, if you like Disney Pixar movies and have not seen this movie, I recommend you check out this movie. You will not be disappointed. So, yeah. I also did a Shadows and Pretties episode where I talk about the full detail on the first movie. But I will do one on Monsters University in the future. Just not sure when that will be. But anyways, I think we should begin with the next one. Well, The Incredibles having to be my favorite superhero movie by Disney. I mean, this involves superheroes. You know, heroes with superpowers. It's a really amazing movie. So basically, this involves Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl having a family of their own, which, of course, they turn out to have superpowers. Except Jack, but that is later revealed later in the movie. So basically, this happens to be one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. Concept's amazing. I really do find the movie to be flat out a pretty awesome animated movie involving superheroes. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is Disney's very first, Disney Pixar film to involve superheroes, which I'm pretty sure that's the case. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Disney ever adapted the idea of a superhero movie, because that's more of, what Pixar would do. Well, not Pixar, but that's more of like what DC Universe or Marvel would do. But I really fell in love with this movie ever since I was a kid, and I recommend this movie. If you have not seen it, I recommend you check out the movie if you haven't. Well, I cannot turn down this one for number one. I actually really like the sequel to the Incredibles movie called The Incredibles 2. This one came out 14 years after the first movie. I don't understand why it took them like 14 freaking years to them to release the sequel. But I really gotta say, I mean, it would have made sense if the sequel was released like maybe a few years after the first. This movie is just amazing. This involves, the superheroes, back with their actions. But the plot of this is, Elastigirl goes out to try and, not break the law saying superheroes are illegal, but try to, make the law more fair where, superheroes are allowed to, have their identities revealed again or something. It's a really good concept. I did talk about the first movie in Shadows and Praise, but I did somewhat go into brief description of the second one. Didn't really want to go too much into detail, but I will make a separate episode of Shadows and Praise where I talk about the sequel. But I'm not too sure when that's going to be. For some reason, when I saw the second one, I started to like the second one more than the first one. I have no idea what it is, but I think I personally love the second movie a lot better than the first one. But like I said, that's just my opinion. If you disagree with me, perfectly fine. But that's just what I have to say personally. Still love this movie. I think it's much better than The Incredibles, like the first one. At least in my opinion. It's still one of my favorite Disney Pixar movies, alongside with the first movie. So, with that being the case, and with that being said, yeah. This is just simply my own personal opinion on my top 10 favorite Disney Pixar movie list. And if you happen to disagree with me on any of them, that's fine. If your favorite Disney Pixar movie is not on the list, I am going to say I might do a part 2, but no guarantees if I will do a part 2 of it or not. But like I said, this is just my opinion. But what did you guys think? Did you like these movies? Did you not? Also, what would you have done personally to help make any of these Disney Pixar movies a lot better? Feel free to leave me what your thoughts are in the comments below. I'm the Lion Queen. Thank you so much for joining today's episode or video. If you're brand new here, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. And roll the outro, because I'm out.